So we are here at the RHS Hampton Court Flower Festival. How many days has setup been happening?
This is the final day, I believe.
Oh, final
so
day.
Sort of coming right towards the end to get the pond done, yeah.
This has all been a Ranger-led project, rethinking the ways that we engage with our food, engage with our urban landscapes and what the potentials could be.
We're going to have parts of the garden distributed to other groups. It's not just going to be a 1 month wonder.
We need residents of cities to be aware they can make green spaces.
A bit more exciting, a bit more imaginative, a bit more, sensational.
My name's Harry and I am the project manager of Froglife's London Blue Chain project, which is a new project taking place in South London where we're building lots of ponds for amphibians and reptiles.
Oh, wow. Cool. And you too, Joyce?
I'm Rose. I'm also Froglife. I'm working on a slightly different project now, but I've been digging ponds with Froglife for a long time and really wanted to dig another one, especially here.
Amazing.
And I'm Nick. I just can't get enough of ponds. I'm a complete volunteer, not really part of Froglife, but I just come along for the ride. And I've been helping these guys dig ponds on the Froglife Blue Chain project for the last year.
That's fantastic. So how did this come about? How did you get involved with this garden? Do you want to?
Yeah, so Louis from London National Park City reached out to me, I think having heard about the London Blue Chain or maybe having seen some new ponds that we had dug as part of the London Blue Chain. And I think kind of just, went to Froglife as kind of experts in ponds, both in the way that they can benefit native wildlife, but also in sort of terms of how to build them practically. And so, kind of came to us as the experts, and we were, of course, very happy to take on the challenge.
Very cool. So are you all kind of experts in this? Obviously, you're a volunteer, but like, how long have you been doing all of this?
Still an expert. We're all experts. You could be an enthusiastic amateur and an expert, but we're all pond nutters. We are all kind of totally bought into the concept of ponds. They're the absolute best thing you can do for wildlife in your local green space, in your garden. A pond of any size will benefit wildlife almost immediately. So our message to anyone listening is go out and build yourself a pond. If you need any advice, go on the Froglife website. If you're in London and want to volunteer with us, come and volunteer with the London Blue Chain. Just give it a Google and we will help build ponds together.
Fabulous. So we always promote getting into volunteering, and that you don't have to be an expert is my tagline on a lot of this. So if someone wants to get involved, they can just turn up, register interest. They don't have to have any special skills or...
100%, absolutely. We will train you how to use a spade, what is a frog, what is a newt, what is a toad, and everything you need to know. On our pond dig days themselves, you can learn how to build a pond from start to finish. Yeah. After you do that day, you'll be able to go out and build as many ponds as you want off that. We encourage every type of amateur.
Fantastic. You're giving me ideas. I definitely could do with a pond. What are we doing today? We can see there's a hole in the ground and it's got, I think that's lining in it. I don't know. Who wants to talk us through?
Talk, Nick, or I can...
Yeah, so this is just underlay at this stage. So we've already dug out the hole from the earth, and the underlay then goes in, and then we put a butyl rubber pond liner on top of that, and then we start to fill it up with water. And that will be the really exciting stage.
Very cool. And so you're going to have amphibians and stuff in it, or?
I mean, that would be a dream. Yeah, that would be a dream. I mean, if like they say, if you build it, they will come. You know, and amphibians sort of sense the world differently to how we do. So they'll smell water or like a body of water being there, and we'll kind of head towards it, hopefully. And I'm sure there are amphibians not far away from here, so technically it could happen for sure. We would love it if it did.
They might struggle to do it in a week, but you will definitely you'll get invertebrates, butterflies, dragonflies, damselflies, hoverflies, small mammals potentially, birds coming and splashing about in it. So from day one it's going to be benefiting wildlife and nature.
We're already seeing insects and bees and butterflies and things flying around our heads while we've been digging. Just as soon as you get a bit of wet mud, bit of water, they will come.
Yeah, even digging the plants nearby, we've seen quite a few landing around. So, all right, well, I don't want to stop you doing your work. So we're going to maybe watch what you get up to. And if you could talk us through it, and we'd love for any kind of tips, like you say, to volunteers and other people who are thinking of putting ponds in as you go.
Definitely, yeah.
If you can inspire.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Sounds good.
Oh, right, we've got the lining here. So what are we doing as a next step? We've got this material.
Yeah, so what we've done is the white layer we've put down here is a textile liner that will just protect the liner, the black liner that's going on top of it, any sharp sticks, bits of rubble, roots that might be coming through, just improves the lifespan of the liner. So this black liner is a butyl rubber liner. It's got a really long lifespan. So even though we are putting a bit more plastic into the environment, it's going to last a really long time and guarantee that our wildlife pond is going to pop off from day one. So at the moment, you can see we've got a little trench around the outside, which we've laid out with tools. They're just laying it down in there. We're going to kind of lay it down and try and make sure we've got as nice and neat as we can get it. It's like wrapping a Christmas present from the inside. You kind of can't get all of the liner folds out. But as I found in my garden pond at home, little tiny frogs love hiding in the folds of the liner. So even though it can look a bit messy, it's still creating that niche for wildlife. And that's also why we've created these different layers on the pond. So wildlife likes different kind of environments, different habitats, particularly ones that live a bit on the edges. And we want lots of edgy bits for tadpoles to develop in the sunny bits. We want a nice deep bit for maybe some toads to breed in. They like to go in slightly deeper water. Also, newts love to do their little mating dances in slightly deeper, open, clear water. So we want a nice little patch for them there. So we've got lots of different areas in here that it's going to benefit different species, not just amphibians, but mammals, invertebrates, and the whole lot, really.
And can you buy these materials secondhand? I suppose they normally have to be new, don't they, unless someone's taken out a pond. I'm just wondering, like, if someone's wanting to acquire stuff cheaply, is it affordable?
So you can make a pond out of anything that holds water. So that could be an old bathtub, a bucket, one of those sinks. As long as when we're using something like those sunken big sinks, we make sure that we've got ramps, things to get in and out. And you can create those just with rubble, bricks, stuff you find around to kind of create different varying levels. But yeah, if it's even an old bucket that you sink into the floor, that maybe you found on the side of a street, is still a wildlife pond.
It's upcycling. That's the whole point.
Upcycling, yeah, absolutely, and we love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can also buy these liners online. They have calculators for what size you need. You just punch in your dimensions and they'll give you extra.
So yeah, this liner, once we've finished using it at Hampton, it will get taken to a community project in South London and reused there, along with the underlay as well. So could go to a youth club, could go to a community centre, could go to a school, could go into a public park, could go into an allotment, lots of different places that it could end up, but it's definitely going to get reused. And these liners, once they're in situ, they can last for 50 years potentially, the butyl rubber. So it's very good quality and it will certainly stand the test of time.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of the legacy plan for this pond, yeah.
Nice. So how long will it stay here? You said, is it for a week or?
Yeah, about a week. Yeah, about a week. So I think it's getting judged the day after tomorrow. And then I think Hampton opens on Monday to the public. I'm back on Wednesday to talk about ponds and why they're great to all of the people that come into the garden. So, but then, after a week, it will be going on its way to the next location in South London somewhere.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Gosh, so what are we doing after the liner?
So once the liner's in, we'll sort of tuck it into we built dug a trench around the outside of which Nick's just pointing to there. So we'll tuck it into the trench, which kind of holds it in position so that when we add water into the pond, it doesn't move around.
Yeah.
And it sort of stays in place. After that, we are going to put all of our pond plants in. So you can see there's nice shelves that have been dug within the pond's interior that will rest the pond plants on. We've got some that are marginal pond plants, so things like sedge, and then we've also got some deep water plants in the collection here as well, so things like water lilies, for example. So we'll sort of have a variety of different areas that are covered off by different types of plants which make homes for different types of animals, basically. So there's a nice variety in there. And then once we've done that, the final stage will be just sort of naturalising it and making it look as mature and sort of bedded in as possible, really.
Nice. And what about pond cleanings? I feel like you can't just let water stagnate for long periods of time, right? Or how, if you have like a small pond, you probably have to maintain it.
Yeah, so ponds kind of need a little and often approach to maintenance. But sort of technically, if you've created an ecosystem in your pond which is in balance, it should sort of take care of itself. And a really important part of that is introducing a kind of variety of different pond plants into there. So oxygenating pond plants are really, really important for cleaning the water and filtering out things like phosphates and nitrates, which can cause algal blooms or like too much photosynthesis, too much growth, which can cause, like you often see on ponds or canals, like lots of duckweed, like that kind of green sheet that can make canals look like lawns.
It's sort of a sign of pollution a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be a sign of pollution. Yeah, or just things not being in balance really. So making sure things are as in balance as possible is really, really important. And then after that, kind of they should sort of look after themselves. But there's different jobs to do throughout the year.
Yeah.
Other than high summer, when it's mainly just a nice opportunity just to sit back and relax.
Yeah.
See what's in your pond. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so what does happen through the season? So we've obviously got, frogs and newts are going to be mating and they have their offspring. That happens at...
Typically spring, slightly different times depending upon whether it's frogs, toads or newts that you're talking about. But generally spring. And then all of those animals will kind of mature across late spring into summer. During winter, obviously a lot of these animals, amphibians and reptiles that Froglife are concerned with looking after over winter or find sites to kind of brumate in or hibernate in, sort of to kind of go into like a torpor over winter, and then they'll come out of that sort of very late winter, early spring and emerge to go back into ponds to breed.
Nice.
So that's the sort of, that's kind of the life cycle.
They go far for the torporing?
They can do, well, toads particularly can migrate up to 5 kilometres from their overwintering sites to ponds. So if you think for a common toad, which is sort of this size, 3 miles is a long way to go, but they have a very strong sense of like kind of, I guess, like tenacity to return to the same site year in, year out. They have like ancestral ponds that they always go back to, which is an issue for toads actually, given the modern age that we live in. That if a road or a car park or something gets built in between where they overwinter and the pond that they've got this really strong instinct to return to, that's an issue for them because it creates a barrier. So
it's when you need your nature corridors and
you need corridors,
bridges.
definitely. And scheme like Toads on Roads, which is a scheme that Froglife runs, where thousands of volunteers across the country collect toads and help them on their way across roads. There's some certain hotspots in London as well, actually, where you can go and volunteer on those projects. Across the kind of in the migration periods. So Toads on Roads is a really important scheme. The modern world is changing at a rate that they're not able to kind of evolve to cope with, sadly. So
we need more awareness around kind of protecting them, because I think people don't think about it. Like, I haven't often thought about it. And now you mention it, it seems so obvious, but actually when spring comes around, you're kind of out there enjoying all the animals and all nature. You're not kind of thinking about
how they got there and what the struggles might be that they're coming into contact with.
They migrate, they come back.
I mean, the same thing with pond. Like, we're going for a real hot spell at the moment in London and the UK, and it's a question I often get asked is like, what should I do about my pond where the level of the water level sort of dropping and evaporating a lot? And increasingly, I'm like encouraging people to top their ponds up. Ideally with rainwater if you collect rainwater, but if we've not had much rainwater, then the best way to do that is by collecting tap water and just leaving it out for a day or two to allow chlorine predominantly to sort of evaporate out of the water, and then putting it in after that.
Nice.
So there are ways around water levels reducing, but certain things it's a bit harder to solve, obviously.
I always think like empty water bottles, never throw them down the drain, always like put them back in your water butt if you have one.
For sure. That's a good tip, actually.
So I can see we've got a a leveler there as well. Is that making sure everything's...
So we had to use the spirit level earlier to make sure that each edge of the ponds is as level as possible, so that when we fill the pond up with water, the water fills up equally and doesn't sort of slop out over one side. We don't want a sloppy pond.
No.
We want a very evenly filled pond.
That's a great soundbite. We don't want a sloppy pond.
No sloppy ponds around here. So that was that should have done the trick with the spirit level. That's a really important part of the process actually of building a pond, is just to make sure it's really level on each corner.
Cool.
London has been given the first ever national park city status.
London, the world's first national park city.
Come and enjoy, because life's too short, really and truly.
And London, wow, what an amazing city.
So, greener,
Healthier
and wilder.